could see moving on is Deshaun Watson, and now there is some breaking news surrounding the Texans as of right now. Our insider Jason Lockenfor confirming that the Chargers' former quarterback Tyrod Taylor has reached a one-year deal with the Texans, up to $12.5 million there. So JJ, read the tea leaves here. Is this a backup solution if something were to happen to Deshaun Watson?
I think it's twofold, maybe even trifold. First of all, the deal, and it's important to say it's up to $12.5 million. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of incentives that are going to have to be hit for Tyrod Taylor to ever see all $12.5 million of that. But, you know, the Houston Texans, again, they are not picking up the phone. They are not engaging in any trade discussions. They maintain their stance that Deshaun Watson is their quarterback, and they're not doing anything to make anyone believe otherwise. But they also need to posture a little bit. Listen, Amanda, I don't think that this is going to get to the point where Deshaun Watson is sitting out of training camp, still a contracted member of the Houston Texans, missing week 1, missing week 7, missing the season. The Houston Texans ultimately have a high-value, currently non-performing asset in Deshaun Watson. They can do what's best for the Houston Texans right now and not trade him, but it will not be best for the Houston Texans when they have a bounty, just a fantastic treasure sitting there waiting for them if they give Deshaun Watson to another team, a Deshaun Watson who will not play for them in 2021, and I firmly do believe that. So how do they help their position a little bit more with Deshaun Watson as they continue to tell Deshaun, we're not trading you and you're our quarterback? Well, they get a guy in Tyrod Taylor, a fantastic veteran, a guy who obviously has shown his some of his mobility over the years, has shown his ability to be a starter and a backup. He can absolutely fill a role in camp if it gets to camp. And I think that this just helps the Houston Texans as they continue to posture and say, well, we're not letting go of Deshaun. Maybe that ups the offer from other interested teams, Miami, New York Jets, San Francisco 49ers. I mentioned the Dolphins, the Carolina Panthers. I don't know if the Broncos are really in this or not, but they can keep thinking that they are. But yeah, it helps the Texans to get a quality guy, a guy who's going to be able to be a solid backup. He's going to be able to come in and start if you need him to, but also in this construct of needing to show strength, at least to Deshaun Watson, and certainly to the rest of the NFL as it pertains to Deshaun Watson, this is a really good deal for the Houston Texans.
JJ, either from what you're hearing or what you expect with Deshaun Watson, I mean, for a long time there, we were hearing a lot of chirping from both sides. Deshaun Watson, I want to leave. No, we're not going to let you leave. Now the talks, I mean, it's pretty silent surrounding him. When do we see something actually happen with Deshaun Watson?
If something doesn't happen by the time the first round of the draft is underway in Cleveland, Ohio in late April, then the Houston Texans have a real issue. And the Houston Texans have an issue because that's when his trade value will begin to plummet. Draft will have already happened. Teams can't give up their first round pick this year. Teams who are willing to give up this year's first round pick then cannot because it won't be there. And then you start talking, well, now we need even more future first round picks. Well, teams aren't going to be as inclined to give up future first-round picks. So we're going to see the trade value start to diminish. That would be an issue for the Houston Texans. I've written about this really from day one when the rift became extremely clear between these two sides. It would be in the Texans' best interest to work with Deshaun Watson and his representation to find the best possible landing spot for Deshaun while getting fair compensation for their fantastic young 25-year-old franchise quarterback. It does not appear that the Houston Texans want to engage in what would be a smart business practice. Okay, but I can tell you how it's going to end. He's not going to show up to training camp. He's not going to play for this team. He's not. So you can sit there and posture and act like you have a strong hand, but you are a worse football team without Deshaun Watson and without the compensation that a team would give you to make your team better since you lost Deshaun Watson. You are not at all a better team. And Deshaun Watson has made enough money already He's okay with sitting out this season, is what is very clearly, not reporting that, but it's very clearly the calculation. If you put in your trade request and see where this is going, you have to be okay with being, sitting on the sidelines, watching the game from home, and this team moving forward without you. Again, it'd be a terrible business decision for the Houston Texans, something that they should not do. But again, the Houston Texans, over the last 18 months or so, have made some really terrible decisions. They look to be doing well in free agency right now with GM Nick Caserio, and so maybe there's a tide turning it as it relates at least to football personnel decisions. But the main personnel decision that has to be made, the one that is going to be the bellwether for this franchise moving forward, is finding appropriate value for their fantastic 25-year-old franchise quarterback who will not be playing for them anymore. And right now, it does not seem that they're willing to do that.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.